Hello there, I'm Sandy Allnock. Welcome to my YouTube channel for part 2 of my Pigment Arts brush pen pair of videos for January. And I have some flowers we're going to do today. They rely on one of the properties of these pens, which is that they dry permanent when they go on, but when they're still wet on the paper, you can actually move them with water and a brush, which is kind of nice. So you have the options to do both, but you can layer colors in interesting ways because of that. So the new set that they just sent me has 60 colors in it. I think that's the max colors they have. They have a bunch of different sets in different quantities, but they each come in these little trays, and the box is fabulous. I don't know why anybody would keep them in anything other than the trays in this box, because it's quite nice. Also, let this video serve to be a reminder that there is a giveaway of some sets of markers over on my blog. I will tell you about that at the very end of this video. So let's get started making flowers. Now, in my last video, we talked about properties in these particular pens, that they are water soluble when they're wet. So right when they go on the paper, they're water soluble. You can move them with water, and then after they dry, they stay put. And that's what I thought this technique would be really good for. And I'm doing it in a Sennelier sketchbook, and it's not the greatest watercolor paper, but it's nice watercolor paper. And so it's going to work well for this. It doesn't have the slipperiness that I talked about in the last video, like a Canson XL student grade paper would, but I think it's totally going to work. So I put in my stems first, just so my flowers would end up, in the right place. So let that dry first, because I didn't want to get the green into the flower, and then painted just water at the top for one of the petals. So make a nice big rounded petal. You can add a point to it if you want, or you make it rounded or floppy floopy, whatever you want for your flower shape. But then put a dot, just a little tiny bit of color at the base of it, right where it joins the flower stem. And you can add other colors to it, just a kind of tiny little streak of something else if you want to do multiple colors. Don't get crazy with this, because in order to get that transparency, it needs to be paler than you think it is. So I made one in a practice, and I just put too much color in it because these are very pigmented pens. You also want to use a lot of water. You can see here how shiny it is, and there's plenty of water on there. That's what's going to get the color to keep moving, because if you don't have enough water, it's going to just stick to the paper and it's not going to move. It's, going to get kind of just stuck in the fibers and not flow. Now I want to wait for those petals to dry. So while they are drying, I'm going to paint the leaves in. And you can make skinny leaves, you can make fat leaves, you can make whatever size and shape of leaves you want. You may want to be able to look at it from an angle so you can see where the shine of the water is. And then put a little dot of green at the base of your leaf. And I started off with a really light yellowish green, and then decided I wanted to add a little more to it. I'm literally just putting a tiny drop of it, and don't push it into the paper, because anything that you get stuck in the paper is going to be harder to move. You could get out some of the blending solution, the blending liquid that I talked about in the previous video, if you need to. But I think it's easier if you can avoid having to get out a blending liquid, then do it, because why go get another product just because you weren't thinking and made a mess with your leaf. So I'm going to do a second leaf, come in here off of the stem, and, plenty of water. It can be puddly. It can be more puddly than what I've got going on here. But if you end up with it not being puddly enough, you can always add more water, because your brush is going to come back to it and move everything. So I opted to put in a little tiny bit of 2 different greens. And I was trying to lean over and see exactly where my water was, but because it was drying. But my phone was in the way because I was trying to film. So that is the joys of trying to make videos, is you can't get your head in the right place to see your artwork. But I am, again, with these, I'm doing the same thing very, very, very soft and very, very light. But boy, wouldn't these be lovely to make a whole bunch of these for spring cards or spring postcards or, decorations or something. I mean, just all kinds of things that you could do with very light and very soft flowers like these. Okay, so next I'm going to do side leaves. And these are going to be side leaves that are going to leave some room in between their skinny selves and the big fat petal in the center. Because then we're going to add another layer on top. And if the top portion is nice and dry, then you can do whatever colors you want in this petal, and it's not going to affect the petal that was there in the first place, that first one. Because the whole idea is to use the property of these pens and let them get good and dry so that that color won't move. If you decide you're going to get some of that blending liquid that we talked about last time, then be very careful when you start layering petals on top of each other, because it's just going to be harder and harder to maintain that look of transparency, because that blending solution is going to not just lift the petal that you're working on, it's going to mess with the petal that's underneath, and you want them both to show. So on both sides, I'm making kind of skinnier leaves. On the right-hand side, it's smaller flowers, so I'm going to make them kind of swoop up more. And on the bigger flower, they kind of go out a little bit more. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of water and some of this purpley pink color. I think it's red violet. Put that so that it drains down into some very tiny, I don't know what are they called? Sepals? There's something in my brain that tells me long ago I learned that they were called something, and maybe that was sepals. Then dry that. Once it's completely dry, then you can go in and do the same thing and just do an intermediate petal between the small one that you did in the second pass and the bigger one that you did in the first pass. And make it, again, nice and light, really soft. You can use different colors. And as long as everything is dry underneath, nothing's going to move. If you try this in watercolor, you have to be really careful, because the color that you put on top, when you put another wash on top, may lift some of that down below. And with watercolors, you're not going to get as bright a color as you can get from these markers. These are, they have different light fast ratings for different colors. They're written on the markers themselves. So they are higher rated than a lot of the water-based markers I've used before. But that's why they're so bright. And even the tiniest dot gives you actual color on the page. And that's where I thought I wanted to exploit that ability of these markers to stay nice and bright, because watercolor always dulls down just a little bit. And, for flowers like this, it's just nice to have that really strong, bright color. And you can make one petal a little bit darker than the other. I just keep moving the color around within that puddle so that I start having this layering effect. And they will dry, I guess, slightly darker is what I seem to find. I'm, not really sure that will happen with every single color. But then there were some points where I wanted to have just a little bit more, so I even added more color into this particular petal on this right-hand flower. And, you can choose however you want to do it, but just keep those colors light enough that you can see the underlying petal down below it, because that's what's going to give it that very airy, very watercolor feel. You can add all kinds of other things to it as well. You can put other little flowers in there. I have some flowers on my social media that hopefully will be up by the time you watch this. If not, it'll be up this week with another idea for some more flowers that would go along nicely with these. And you can make all kinds of really cool projects with them. So here I'm using, I have 3 pinks that I've been using and just a little bit of yellow along the way. And anytime I start getting nervous that I'm getting too much heavy color, I switch to the lighter pink. And then if that's not enough color, then I can drop in more. As long as the puddle is wet, then it's going to be fine. But see, I wanted to define that petal just a little bit more, so I even drew a line around it and then moved the color so that I don't have an actual line, but it just gives me enough base color around the whole petal. But you can see I'm just fussing because that's what I do best sometimes, I think. And I'm going to add another petal over on this side. And you can add as many as you want. You can make some lower in the foreground so that you have kind of a fuller flower with more layers to it. Or you can make ones that just have, you know, a row of side petals. So the side is all you're seeing. So this one at the top, I just wanted to have more layers showing, more layers of petals. When it comes to the leaves, you can either leave them really soft. You can put color in half the leaf. So you get half that's darker and half that's lighter. I'm just kind of playing around with them because I wasn't really sure what I wanted. And, you know, half the leaf was great until, you know, there was enough color. It made the rest of the leaf seem like it was starting to disappear because of the contrast. Because everything, as I mentioned many times, everything we see is in relation to everything else around it. So as soon as you start putting dark colors in one area, everything else starts to look paler by comparison. So play around with yours until you're happy with the levels of layering that you've got. Just make sure when you're going to layer over top of something that whatever's underneath is good and dry. And if you try this with regular watercolors or with other brands that don't stay put once they're on the paper, you may have some issues. So don't be looking for me to help you on that, because these markers are really one of the things that's going to make these things sing. So over on my blog, the giveaway is still on. I'm going to announce the winner on Saturday. So make sure you get your entry in. Links in the doobly-doo, and you can go watch the previous video as well, because that link's down there as well. And I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.